Oh my gosh, hello. Um, I had made a video like pretty recently actually, answering different like random questions. Most of the questions that I had pulled from that video were like questions from previous videos that were left in the comment section. And to my surprise, there was like a lot more questions under that comment section. I almost feel kind of narcissist. I almost feel kind of narcissistic for like making a whole Q&A video because I don't know. I don't feel like people care about my opinion all that much, but anyone who knows me knows that I'm nothing if not opinionated. So, I am going to mostly just answer questions that were left on that previous video. And I didn't anticipate that people would leave a bunch of questions, but I guess if you have more questions, you can feel free to leave them under this one. So yeah. Okay. This one guy said, do you have any regrets in life? Okay. Do I have any regrets in life? We're starting strong. That's such a loaded question. You know what I love about the small little community that I've like built around these videos? Not a lot of people watch these videos, but the people who do are often like returning viewers, returning subscribers, and it's just really cool because I feel like I've built a little community here and I genuinely have care and interest in like every single person that I see leaving comments on a regular basis. Do I have any regrets in life? I mean, we all do. I don't think I know like a single person out there who doesn't have any regrets, period. I think something that I always find myself coming back to, like late at night, 4 a.m. type of thing, some of my biggest regrets have been not feeling more confident in the moment. Like, I hate that feeling when you look back at an old photograph and you're like, oh my gosh, I was so cute, or oh my gosh, that was such a great time, I didn't enjoy it long enough. Not savoring the moment and not feeling great about yourself in the moment is really, really hard. It's hard to feel great about yourself in any given moment. But I feel like that's something I regret, is being like, I feel like a lot of women are like this, is people in general, I'm sure, but I feel like a lot of women I know in specific, they feel so badly about themselves like in the moment, and then 10 years later they look at a photo or a video from that time period and they're like, oh my gosh, I was gorgeous, what the hell was I complaining about? So that's one of them. I don't do that as much, but I'm human and I slip up, and sometimes I still do that, but I don't do that as much. Another like really common regret that I have always is, I wish I told that person how I felt. I always say that, as I'm always like, I wish I told them how I felt, or I wish I had spoken up about how I felt about this, or yada yada yada. Basically, I wish I had confessed feelings, or I wish I had shared how I really felt about that person, or anything to that effect. Anything of that kind of vernacular. So that's a very common one for me. This feels way too intimate. I feel like I just like shared my whole life story with you. This feels oddly intimate. Yeah, the rest of the comment, do you have any regrets in life? My only regret is not serving in the military. I feel like if I did, I would have shaped me into a much different person now. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? I know for me, I could never be in the military. My body's just not built for that, and I would have to go through a lot of like physical training. I also just don't think that's the right path for me. I also just don't really, I have, I just don't really believe in the military much, but respect to anyone who does. Ooh, oh my gosh, someone says, I love the blonde, it brings out your tan. Oh, thank you. I honestly was so nervous about going blonde. I had so much anxiety about it. It was so bad. I know I'm supposed to be looking here because that's the camera, but I have the urge to look here because because I can see myself in the viewfinder. Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you so much for saying that. I was so nervous about going blonde. I will admit, I don't think it's my best look. I'll probably go red next. I mean, since I bleached it anyway, might as well do another color. I'll probably go like ginger red. My next hair color. But I feel like I definitely look best with dark hair. It's just, I told one of my friends this, you need the freedom to feel ugly. Like, I love my hair and I'm super emotionally attached and invested to my hair. I always have been. But the main reason why I'm so attached and invested is because pretty much my whole life, everyone has complimented my hair. Like, my hair has been the forefront of why they like me, why they think I'm pretty, yada yada yada. No one has ever been like, oh my gosh, Julia, you're such a wonderful, incredible person, or you're so smart, or you're so talented. Usually, it's, oh my god, I love your hair. It's so long, it's so thick. And while I appreciate those comments, and those comments totally make my day, I feel like not enough people realize that variety of compliments is so important because it really boosts your overall self-esteem. I think it's so sweet and kind when someone random on the street says, oh, I love your hair, it's gorgeous. That's so wonderful, and thank you for saying that. But I feel like I always go out of my way to comment the less obvious things. Like, yeah, I have super long hair, and I have for pretty much all of my life. And it's super thick and super gorgeous, and I'm lucky to have it. However, if someone had said, oh, you know what? I love the sound of your voice, or I don't know, I love the outfit you're wearing, I love your smile, something else. Just choose less obvious compliments because I feel like it really builds the person up as a whole. And I feel like that's a problem that I had for quite literally years, where I would be like, well, I can't change my hair because everyone loves it. It's like the only thing that's good about me. I can't ever change it because that's my whole personality now. And I knew that the blonde probably wouldn't look the best on me, but just the idea of going blonde has been something that I've wanted to do since I was little. Part of me thinks that maybe it's like internalized xenophobia. I'm a Mexican American, and I grew up with pretty much only the Mexican side of my family. Like, I'm half. I have a white dad, all American white dad. And I definitely was one of the whitest people in my family for sure, but I always felt like I wasn't white enough when I was little. And it's such a, I need to do a whole video on that. But I know it's going to be controversial, and I know everyone's going to absolutely annihilate me in the comments. I feel like there is, even people who are full Mexican, like I've talked to other Mexican Americans, and they have this thing where they feel like they're not American enough, but they also feel like they're not Mexican enough. The neither here nor there type of thing. I really resonate with that. I feel like I'm oftentimes not seen as a true Mexican because, well, I'm a blonde white lady, but I mean, Mexican isn't a race, it's an ethnicity. It's quite a complicated issue, as you can see. Yeah, ethnically, I'm very Mexican, and gosh, it's rough because growing up, I was like, I want to be blonde hair, blue eyes, I want to be whiter, and then that switched to, I want my family to feel like I'm more a part of them. I want to be more in touch with my own Mexican roots, and it's very complex. But yeah, that is a long story. I should move on to the actual question because this comment just complimented the blonde, and then I went off on a whole spiel about it. What's something you're proud of that you never get to brag about? Ooh, okay. Love this. Love this. Okay. This is a great question. What's something you're proud about that you never get to brag about? Oh, I am proud of how many shows I've done. I'm a really big theater person. I was a huge theater kid growing up. I've always been just performing in some way. I write songs, and I'm a halfway decent singer. And I've been a dancer since forever too. That's always been like a huge part of my life. And I have a resume that's super long, like outrageously long, because I've been doing shows since I was like 5. And it's crazy because growing up, my parents would always be like, what the heck? Like, why are you so into this? Because I have 2 older brothers, and they were all into sports, and I had a dad who really wanted me to essentially be another boy. Like, he really wanted me to be in sports. Not that girls can't do sports. I know some girls who are fantastic at sports, but my dad really pushed masculine energy on me from an early age. I think that's probably why I feel like I've got a decent amount of both. Like, if someone were to ask me, do I think I'm more of a feminine person or a masculine person? I feel like I'm a pretty even split. I have my feminine side, but I do feel like I am definitely there's a decent amount of masculinity inside me for someone who is seen as a woman out in the world. I'm a pretty masculine girl. And yeah, I feel like, back to the question. Oh, Julia, you trail off too much. The thing I'm proud of that I don't get to brag about is definitely my theater resume, because I started theater when I was like 5 years old, and from the age of 5, I've done anywhere from 3 to 4 shows every year. There hasn't been a single year of my life where I didn't do at least 2 shows, but usually 3 or 4. And that continues on even now, even through college, and so that's great, but it's so long. Like, we'd have to do the math, but from the time of like 5, I've done at least probably 4 shows every year, sometimes more. So yeah, I don't get to brag about my theater resume enough, and I wish I could. My cat. I have this gorgeous cat. I'll find a photo. I don't know if you guys probably aren't cat people, but I love cats. And I have this gorgeous little fluffy white kitten that I love. I've had this cat since I was like 5. And I don't get to brag enough about how much I love this cat. It's a flame color point. And oh, this kitty is gorgeous. So yeah, I definitely don't get to brag about my cat enough. I'm gonna go find a random cat photo. Yeah, theater resume, my cat. I don't feel like a lot of people in my family, I don't feel like visit my grandmother nearly as much as I do. I visit her usually, sometimes once a week, but usually like pretty often. And I don't know, she's an interesting lady. She's a Mexican grandmother, if that makes sense. She's a Spitfire, and she can be feisty. So yeah, she a feisty lady, but I love her. Here's a photo of my cat. Ah! Oh, the brightness is too big. Like, hang on. This is Kitty. Yeah, or El Kitty, as we say. Random photo of me and my boyfriend. But yeah, there's that. So probably my cat, and yeah, my cat, my theater resume. All right, and the fact that I visit my grandmother a lot. We need to move on because I've talked about this far too long. If you were gifted a house, what kind of If you were gifted a house, what kind of house would you want it to be, and what kind of decor would you want? Ooh, okay. I have always had this like vision in mind where if I were ever wealthy enough one day to have more than one home, which I'm not the biggest fan of people having multiple houses to begin with. I feel like it's a little egregious. But maybe in certain circumstances I get it. Having a vacation home is a huge luxury and privilege, especially since there's so many people on planet Earth and we're quite literally running out of space. If I were gifted a house, I'd want it to be old, preferably maybe a little haunted. Like, I don't know if I really believe in ghosts in actuality, but I know that, everything's falling. I don't know if I believe in ghosts in actuality, but I know that ever since I was young, I've loved the idea of ghosts or something paranormal happening. Like, I've been obsessed with it to the point where when I was younger, I like begged my mom to go ghost hunting at this like one hotel in Bisbee, Arizona, if you've ever been there. Love Bisbee. But yeah, I wanted to go ghost hunting in the hotel because I just love the idea of ghosts and supernatural things. I'm a pretty skeptical, atheistic person, So I don't know how much I believe that they're real. I don't know if I put any stake in that, but I do feel like, you know, I do feel like it's something that I almost want to be true because it's awesome. I really like the idea of it. So I'd want it to be old. I'd want it to be haunted. In my perfect future, I'd have a decent sized apartment, maybe in New York City, and then I'd have a house far off somewhere wintry, maybe. Maybe a winter home. I don't know. Um, and I don't think I'd need a summer home. That's egregious. You don't need three houses. And if I wanted to travel for the summer, I would just, rent a hotel, Airbnb. Like, if I were ever rich enough to be traveling every season, that would be awesome. But yeah, I'd probably want something that feels like a German castle, probably not actually in Germany, but something that feels really old. It doesn't even have to be a huge property. I just want the property to be surrounded by forests or lakes, somewhere secluded. The truth of the matter is, I fucking hate people, and I'll do anything to get away from them. Quite literally anything. So yeah, I don't feel like I would. I don't feel like I would do well in I've loved cities, I really do, but I love cities because there's so much to do and there's so many activities because there's a lot of people. I don't necessarily love the people part though, is the thing. So I feel like in my perfect world, I would get the best of both worlds of city living and also rural, like out in the middle of nowhere type of feel. So yeah, my perfect house would be surrounded by woods, a lot of nature. I'd like it to be a big property, but the house itself doesn't need to be big. I just want a big property so that people will fucking leave me alone. What would I want in it? I'd want it to. I've always wanted one of those giant staircases, like the spiral ones. Oh my god. Or even just a giant staircase because I feel like we always see that moment in movies where like the ingenue, the girl walks down the staircase and she like walks down and then at the bottom is like her prom date or something and he's like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. I've had moments like that, in my life before, but my hope would be that I can like really put that moment together perfectly for like my daughter one day. Like if I have kids, I feel like I would love for my daughter to have the ability to walk down a huge staircase, like a beautiful grand staircase. Whether it was a spiral or not, I just want a pretty staircase. I also would love like a nice backyard. Something again that feels secluded. I know it would have a lot of brown and green earthy tones. And I know that it would have something of a fireplace, and it says if I were gifted, so this can be as crazy as I want, and I gifted meaning I didn't have to pay. That's the most important part, because my ass is broke and I'm a fucking cheapskate. The most important part here is that I'm not paying for shit. Obviously I gotta pay for like bills and all of that fun stuff, but I'm assuming gifted meaning that I didn't have to make the initial purchase. And I'm pretending in this scenario that there is no mortgage. So I'm going as vast and crazy as I can imagine. The kind of decor I would want, I have always thought about this. I want like pictures of people, like historical figures that are not often celebrated. They say history is written by the victor, and boy is that fucking true. I'd want like the Rosie the Riveter poster, of course, like would be in my master bedroom. I even have like my own Rosie the Riveter poster already. But I would want like, I don't know, I want a picture of Susan B. Anthony on my wall. I want like cool badass pictures. I don't know, Harvey Milk is gonna like have, I feel like if I picture this like castle, like Victorian old style home, and then I just fill it with historical photos, like like you see those famous like historical preppy photos like in mansions. That's what I would want, but it doesn't even need to be a mansion. I just feel like that would be baller. I also feel like random sexual imagery would be funny, and I am 12, so maybe there'd be a mini dick statue on my dining room table. I don't know, something egregious. Yeah. Okay, what is the most annoying quality a person can have? Interrupting. Interrupting, hands down. I interrupt sometimes, we all do. Like, it's natural, it's a human thing, but I can forgive someone who does it once or twice in a conversation, but someone who just won't shut the fuck up when you're trying to talk, and absolutely irritating. I go out of my way to try to not interrupt people, and when I do, I apologize, but there's certain people who will just interrupt and keep going, and they won't give a fuck that they interrupted you. Those people, I feel like, just don't, they don't, you can so obviously tell when someone is just waiting for you to finish so that they can start talking. They're not actually listening to what you have to say, they're just waiting for it to be over so that they can make their point. Very annoying. Very irritating. I also, this is gonna sound mean. I'm a mean girl at heart. Maybe I'm a little Regina George, like, I don't know. But I think there's nothing wrong with being open about what you struggle with and open to the world. I mean, shit, I feel like I share a decent amount of personal things in these videos. If I were to complain that people overshare too much, that'd be a little hypocritical of me. But I'm a hypocrite, so no, I have no issue with people sharing. I just think that, one, not all things need to be shared, and we all have a, there's people making noise. Anyway, we all have like a, how do I say? We all have this ability to overshare. And we all have this sense of wanting to share things about ourselves, personal things with our community. And I think that that's great, only to a certain level. Like, it bothers me when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see this guy posting about some fight that he and his girlfriend had, like, on his public main account, and I'm just like, maybe work that out amongst yourselves and not share that stuff. Like, I feel like sharing about a struggle, like if someone's struggling, I guess, with their mental health and they're open about that and they share that with the world, I think that's great. If they feel so inclined to share, they should. But sharing about your personal issues when somebody else is involved, I draw the line there. It's not yours to share. And I think that nowadays that's constant. It bothers me so much that sometimes I have to be careful when I'm texting someone, because I'm worried that they're gonna screenshot it, post it, or just show people even. And not that I have to be worried. I don't say anything in my mind that is gonna get me in any kind of trouble. Like, I'm not over here being mean to people over text message, but it's just the idea that nothing is truly private. I'm a big, stop calling me. I'm a big proponent, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm a big fan and advocate of privacy, I guess you could say. So yeah, that took me forever just to answer those questions. Again, I'm gonna keep it rolling. I said last time that no one was gonna make it to the end of the video, and someone in the comment section was like, I made it to the end. Good for you, congratulations. But also, no one's gonna make it to the end of this one. This is like already 23 minutes long. So yeah. Is there any other questions that I see? No, I think that's about it. Yeah. So thank you for anyone who left those questions. I'm really happy and excited that there was comments at all, that people cared enough to share. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled that people cared to any degree. So yeah, I really do mean it though. Whenever I see positive comments, it truly makes my day, and it's truly incredible and truly special. So thank you so much. And if you did make it to the end, I don't know if anyone noticed, but I have this song called New Shape that I wrote with one of my great friends, and shameless self-promotion, you should go listen to it. All right, that's it. Bye.